Running a little behind, folks, but stand by. .11:05. We'll begin in a couple of minutes, and just when I thought I had everything together, my set decided to crash when I came back from the bathroom. 2 minutes starting now. 1 minute and counting. Stand by. I'd like to begin with a very personal message for a fellow who decided it was his duty to make me lose a contract from Marquette Catholic, to shame my family, which included my wife, my children, and to shame my best friend Victor. Delbert Eugene Yates Jr., you a bitch.
More like you a dumb bitch. Now let's go!
On your mark, get set. Let's go.
I can't do it. We'll do it live. Do it live! I'll write it and we'll do it live!
Mister, will you please wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up?
Good morning. Kevin Durant, you should have left California.
This Brownsexual upset me in having to bring this teenage idiot from Wisconsin into a sports conversation. Are you really surprised that the Cowboys are giving up on Ezekiel Elliott?
Whoa. Hell no! Well, no one cares about baseball.
Bitch, are you for real?
Oh, yeah! Let's go, baby. Good morning. Welcome to the twisted, tripped out Thursday edition of Snowman in the Morning. Glad to have y'all with us. Y'all know we are stacked and packed with 120 minutes of some great sports talk. And we take you on a journey with the best sports talk show in the region, across the nation, and around the world. We welcome those of you watching on YouTube via both Snowman Multimedia channels, the Shady Sports Network YouTube channel, and those of you listening on WIRU and WEISDB in Chicago, WQEE in Atlanta, KSOS in Salem, Oregon, WLEO in Baltimore, and our newest affiliate, WJKS, just south of Indianapolis, Indiana. And we also welcome those of you listening on our flagship radio station, Snowman Multimedia Sports Radio. We got a lot to get to. We got Chris Edwards at the top of the 12 o'clock hour. And we have some plans that are in place beginning in May, as our time and length of time will change. So y'all stay tuned for that. We'll talk about all of that at the tail end of the show. This portion of the show is brought to you by BetUS.com. March Madness is here. The NBA, soon the WNBA, NHL, college hoops and Major League Baseball, which starts today, are all in action. And if you want the best action for parlays, game picks, or whatever you desire, BetUS.com is the way to go. The sportsbook is celebrating their 30th year with the best action at the best time. Log on to BETUS.com, use the code Snowman, and get a 125% deposit match on your deposit. BetUS.com, where the game begins. You can also view this show on snowmanmultimedia.com.
You smell all that, Snowman? You smell the lumber in the air, baby?
Oh, yeah.
It's that day.
It is.
That grass smells good.
Like, can you say to my good ear what starts today?
Baseball.
Major League
Baseball. And yes, there are two black men on this program discussing baseball. And also, there are 3 men that will discuss women's college basketball.
Not to mention hockey.
Yours truly will have coverage of every Sweet 16 matchup in women's basketball. My voice is going to take a beating. My body's going to take a beating. But I got encouragement from my beautiful wife, and she says, women's sports is going to be your niche. Go for it. So I am doing what the wife says, and I'm going for it. I want y'all to do me a favor and allow me a few minutes to get some things off my chest because of what I read. And what I read was quite disturbing. So I am standing on business because this Snowman's take is quite personal. There is a gentleman by the name of Delbert Eugene Yates Jr., who I referred to in the cold open, that I am living in his head rent-free. Because every time I speak to him in this capacity, instead of getting into a pissing match with him, he gets a little disturbed, and I am using the nice words here. Recently, he decided to comment on our Facebook page that was created by me and my beautiful wife, Jody, called the Tall Man Dr. K page. And one of the pictures that was posted there was a picture of Victor and myself as we celebrated our reunion at Soldier Field last fall. He said something, and I erased the comment and I let it go, but he said something to the tune of reminding me when Victor and I lived in a, quote, small dinky apartment in Gary, Indiana, and he decided to call us pathetic for doing so. Oh, there's a lot more. When I contracted pancreatic cancer and was going through that fight, which I've since won, Delbert, he called it karma. He called it karma, ladies and gentlemen. And when I had my right toe amputated, he called that even more karma for me, quote unquote, being a con man. Riddle me this, Delbert. Who's more of a con man, you or me? Because you decided to inform me and a lot of people that you were the pre- and post-game show host for Notre Dame football back in the 2010s. I happen to know some people, so I decided to make a phone call. And that phone call proved you false. In fact, one of the executives that I knew at the time sent me an email that said you were never, ever, ever in that capacity at WLS. And I know some people at WLS, one of which you'll see tomorrow. I know some people in the broadcast industry. This is the same man who informed the Indiana High School Athletic Association that I was, quote, inappropriately touching 2 female students at Marquette Catholic during my time there.
That was him.
Which was a lie. That was him.
He did what?
Let me say that again. In March of 2016, while the boys of Marquette Catholic, Blazer Nation, who I love very dearly, were getting ready to play their regional final against Knox, I'm getting prepared and ready to go. I had already made my payment for the remainder of that series because I was going to follow it and broadcast all of the games at Knox High School because the folks at Knox were so welcoming and so wonderful to me, even though they knew my chief team was Marquette Catholic. And this was Marquette Catholic's first season in 2A. He decided to inform the IHSAA that I was inappropriately touching 2 female students at Marquette Catholic, which, as y'all know, and those of you who know me, even only virtually, that was a lie. Unfortunately, Tony Midas, who was the athletic director at the time, had to act in accordance and had to suspend me. Later on, he told me I could never broadcast games at Marquette Catholic again because of that. So because of that lie, even though every parent that I knew at Marquette Catholic defended me and said, no, that ain't how Snowman rolls,
The stigma would have remained.
I was not welcome back.
Yeah. Unfortunately, with a situation like that, the stigma would have remained, even though you would have been exonerated. This is why allegations like that are so dangerous, especially used falsely, because of something like that. And honestly,
3 years I was at Marquette Catholic. 3 years. You know what the guys did? A hashtag started circling around. Do it for Snowman. They put it on their tape, on their ankles, and on their wrists. And the fans there, and I'll have to get a picture. The fans there had Snowman stickers on their faces. And every one of them sent me a message saying, you were missed tonight. We needed that voice. They won their sectional. They went to regional at North Judson. And I damn near made the payment to go there. Unfortunately, couldn't get a sponsor in time. So I had to miss it. But I made them a promise. I said, y'all get to Indianapolis, I'm going to be there. Unfortunately, they didn't because they lost to Bishop Knoll by 3 points.
there's a lot of things I want to say I want to do, but they are not for FCC airwaves, so I'm going to be quiet.
You and me both.
Oh, that's why y'all are going to be on Diary of a Mad Snowman later today. Well, gentlemen, I was exonerated there, and Hebron High School came to the rescue. Hey, you can broadcast our baseball games. We got you. So I didn't miss a baseball season, even though it wasn't with the school that I started with. But this gentleman, and I use the term very, very loosely, has made fun of my wife, has made fun of my children. He has called me a failure on many occasions, especially the time that I was locked up in the mental hospital in Michigan City, Indiana, which turned out to be the best 7 days of my life because it got me back to being me. And just randomly, and I mean very randomly, finds pictures of me and says all kinds of nefarious things, like when I contracted pancreatic cancer, that it was karma. You know what karma is, Del? The fact that I'm still here. The fact that I'm still broadcasting. The fact that I'm still doing play-by-play. In your face. I wonder what pisses you off more. The fact that I'm still here, or the fact that I still have a microphone in front of me that I can use to a lot of gentlemen's benefit, which I will do this afternoon. Riddle me this. Does it piss you off that I'm still here, Or does it scare you that I've already gotten even? Does it piss you off that I've gotten even? Or does it scare you that I got more up my sleeve? And to close this very personal Snowman's take, does it piss you off that I'm still here? Or does it frighten you that I've beaten cancer, beaten the odds, and I'm still doing this and laughing in your face every moment I'm in front of this microphone? I'll have a lot more to say later this afternoon, but for now, that is Snowman's take. What is yours?
My take ain't FCC friendly.
Nope.
Oh, that was my edited version.
Oh, I know. Trust me, I know. This afternoon is going to be wild.
And cuss words will be a-flying. I will say that right now. I have changed the subject of Diary of a Mad Snowman because since this blank, bleep, bleep, bleep wants his 15 minutes, I'm going to give him an hour and expose every lie that he's told against me, every lie that he's told to parents and to organizations. I touched 2 female students at Marquette Catholic.
That was a lie.
Oh, man, there's more, but I will save it for this afternoon because if I unleash it here, then 120 minutes will fly by and we won't get to the subjects that we need to get to.
Yep.
And I got some juice. I got a juicy one already.
I know.
I'm just here for the popcorn and to fill in the blanks.
And y'all have been there with me.
Yep.
I appreciate you. Oh, and Dell, 3 words.
Shut up, bitch.
I better go to a break. When we come back, is it all about UConn? Or does another #1 seed have ideas? That and more. Snowman in the Morning continues after the break.
Everything Boston. I love you morons. New Kids on the Block, New Edition.
Dear whatever the law firm is. Sincerely, the U.S. Supreme Court.
Ben Affleck, Matt Damon. Go yourself again, Jason Whitlock.
Join the transporter to Hades.
Your butt and gut becomes one.
Join the reformer of hooker whores.
This is my daughter, Placenta Booty Johnson.
Join the bronze car.
Whenever you are in distress, take off your baseball cap and throw it in the air.
Join your very own superhero of broadcasting, Chris Bass.
So whatever color crayon they get, they palm it and do 2 circles, and that translates to I can beat up black people.
As she takes you through the week's paces in Baseline. Live every Saturday at 8 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Central, Pacific Time Zone people, just stay asleep when this is on live and just catch the recording. Oh, I'm sorry. Exclusively on the Chris Bass YouTube channel. Ready to hang with some fellas who know football? Let's ride. LC Muscles 28.
I think they're the most overrated defense in the league.
Steel Sermon.
We did not trail for a single second.
Tiny Tim.
McCarthy is a bonehead.
A Pizzle 90.
I'm going with my boys. Fins up, baby.
Get ready for the 4 Horsemen of Peckham's. Every Wednesday night at 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Central on YouTube.
Mister, how do you operate this Twitter thing or this Instagram thing or whatever the heck. You're supposed to know all this stuff. Anyway, welcome back to the show.
Booty! I'm sorry.
Booty! Sounds
Chris
like we're talking
Bates will
about
be
most
on
of the
with-
number one seeds here.
Chris Bates will be on with us tomorrow for that. This portion of Snowman in the Morning brought to you in part by Invader Coffee. And beginning tomorrow at 2 o'clock, All Snowman and Company is going to take you through every Sweet 16 matchup in the women's basketball tournament. So fasten your seatbelt, sit back, relax, and strap it down. As All Snowman will take women's basketball coverage to another level with the help of our executive producer, Cole Johnson, our coordinating producer, Victor Locke, and of course, the super producer, the one and only Shane Big Dog Lake. We're going to be busy, and we want you to be along with us for the ride. Here we go. Is it the Connecticut Invitational, or is it just me?
No, you're not
Because
wrong.
Purdue, Houston, and North Carolina are all frauds as number one seeds. I go back to a question that I asked on Monday. You tell me how the hell North Carolina can get a number one seed and they didn't win their conference tournament. That don't seem right to me. Shane?
It's not right. It truly isn't. I mean, I thought the number one seeds were supposed to be the top teams of the country. How can you be a top team without winning your conference championship? Think about it.
It was North Carolina State that won the damn thing, winning 5 games in 5 days. And remember, North Carolina got a double bye into the quarterfinals.
And North Carolina State got screwed on the seeding.
An 11 seed, and they're still alive. They get an 11 seed. Tell me what is wrong with this picture, ladies and gentlemen. North Carolina gets a 1 seed, not winning their conference tournament. Meanwhile, North Carolina State, who won the damn thing and should have been at least a 3, they're getting 11.
They're
and that's
playing
why
with
North Carolina State will remain alive after this weekend, and I believe North Carolina will be sent packing. Now, y'all remember, I'm a Tar Heel fan. Thank you, Michael Jeffrey Jordan. Thank you, James Worthy. Thank you, Sam Perkins. Thank you, Dean E. Smith. Okay? And tomorrow's a very special anniversary. I'll talk about that tomorrow. North Carolina, we're beginning in the South region. North Carolina is a bunch of frauds. North Carolina are a bunch of frauds. And they're the number one. Victor, talk. Talk. Please. I'll say something bad. Talk.
Well, it's definitely more the UConn Invitational. UConn always proves that they are a cut above the rest.
Amen to that.
North Carolina, again, we talk about this all the time, about name brand recognition, that the records or the winning the conference championship does not matter, because if you don't have name brand recognition, according to the bigwigs, no one's going to watch. If NC is not there, if Houston is not there, if UConn's not there, no one's going to care.
I see no lies with that statement. I see no lies with that statement, y'all.
None.
I see no lie. I see no lies and hear no lies with that statement. You tell. Let's move on to Houston.
Fraud.
To Houston.
They should have gotten the hook a while
How? Okay, the rule, and I know this to be the rule. I will say it again. I know this to be the rule. The rule of the NCAA tournament, thank you, Jim Valvano, survive and advance. I get it. Lord knows I get it, because there are teams that have been in this tournament in the 40 plus years I've watched the thing that had no business being there. Jim Valvano, 1983, North Carolina State. All right. And I have a trivia question about that particular tournament coming up before the break. They should have lost against Texas A&M. They didn't. And I give them their credit. I give them their I give them their credit. Yes.
They escaped.
Yeah, they did. They truly escaped after choking a 12-point lead in the final 84 seconds. Reminds me of the Knicks and Pistons from 1984. I'm a historian. I can't help the comparison.
Point being is Houston should have been on the hook way sooner. And yet again, here they are.
Here they are, indeed. Here they are.
And
with a chance to get back to the Final Four.
They should have been bounced like me working on a Friday night years ago.
You know what's crazy? I'm actually, in a way, I'm kind of pulling for them, and in a way, I'm not. Because Houston got smashed. Tell me how Houston got a number 1 seed and then got walloped by Iowa State in the Big 12 tournament.
Mm-hmm.
They got smashed. And it goes back to Victor's point about name brand recognition.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
It goes back to name brand recognition. If you're not Houston, if you're not North Carolina, if you're not Purdue, and we'll get to Purdue in a moment because I got a ton of questions for them. If you're not any of them, then you don't get a number 1 seed. Never mind what happened during the regular season. Never mind what happened in the conference tournament. Thank you, North Carolina State. But you don't get a number 1 if you don't have that name recognition. And for Houston, it starts with Kelvin Sampson, their coach, who has been there and done this, and Lord knows I give him credit, and Lord knows I give him credit for that. All right? But you tell me, gentlemen, how the hell does Houston get a number 1 seed and Iowa State punched them in the mouth by 28 points?
I got a better question. Is anyone going to give a damn if Houston actually loses and it's a Duke NC State or Duke Marquette matchup? Is anyone going to watch?
No.
And you want to know why? You want to know why no one's going to give a damn about that? Duke lost its name brand coach,
Mike Krzyzewski.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And they're still alive. That's the screwy part. Duke is still here.
Because Duke doesn't really give up that easily.
Duke dropped Vermont by 20 and dropped James Madison by double that.
Mm-hmm. Oh, they drilled They drilled James Madison. Now, Houston gets Duke tomorrow.
Houston's going to fumble that one.
Houston is going to fumble the bag. I believe Houston's going to fumble the bag on this one.
If they beat Duke, it's meant to be for them.
I believe it. I totally believe it.
I mean, there's no other way to do it because Duke has been the sledgehammer in this tournament, without a question. Duke has been the sledgehammer.
Now, Duke was properly seeded. Duke was properly seeded.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'd give them a 3
because
for you.
Yeah. I would. I totally give them a 4. Totally. But boy, Houston cannot do what they did against Texas A&M and expect to survive. That can't happen.
Duke's going to take their throat out, plain and simple.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
If Houston has the slightest hesitation against Duke, they're done.
And we mean and we absolutely mean the slightest. We mean that. We mean the slightest.
The slightest bobble, Duke will capitalize, and they'll take them to the cleaners.
Blow them to smithereens.
Plain and simple.
And blow them to smithereens.
It's what Duke's known for doing. It's what Duke is known for doing.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
It is. It is what they're known for.
I mean, I'm looking over the rest of the results here in the brackets, and there are really no other games outside of Houston smashing Longwood, the 116 matchup, that's anywhere close to what Duke has done.
No, there isn't.
UConn and Stetson, 91-52. That's it.
That's UConn.
Yeah, that's UConn being UConn. That's a given.
That's UConn. That's the same UConn team that drilled my Northwestern Wildcats. I believe that was 75-58. I'll have Shane look that up and confirm that for me. I think that count was 75-58.
Yes, it was.
But that was UConn. Okay. Did I have hope that Northwestern will beat UConn? Damn right, because I'm a Northwestern fan. Did I know better? Yep. Did I know better? Yeah.
But I mean, you look at any of the other mid-seeded teams.
Mm-hmm.
Duke is the only one that has thrown down a sledgehammer. Everything else is either expected or where in the blue hell did that come from?
I'll give you the best example of where in the blue hell did that come from. They are the Purdue Boilermakers and Matt Painter.
Oh, for God's sake.
Now, I will begin with a disclaimer. Zach Edey is the main. All right? I love me some Zach Edey. What frightens me about Zach Edey, and I've seen this before, and I've talked about this before with different players. Zion Williamson, pay attention. His motor. The only difference between Zach Edey and Zion Williamson, and to throw a comparison out there, UConn, Hashim Thabit, is that Zach Edey has a little bit better motor.
Yep.
He's going to need it this weekend.
Oh, he's definitely going to need it this weekend.
I love Zach Edey. I absolutely adore Zach Edey. Okay? I'm not saying, look, y'all think I'm,
Purdue's got to watch out, though, because Gonzaga's coming off of 2 21-point wins so far in this tournament.
And
against Kansas and against McNeese.
There's the thing. Gonzaga beat the hell out of Kansas, which I wanted, which I picked. But Purdue's going to get drilled by 20. I love you, Zach Edey, but you're facing a Gonzaga team that loves to pass the ball, 4 or 5 passes of possession, and work for the best shot. And they still put up 80-plus points a game.
Now, here's the thing. Purdue beat Utah State by nearly 40.
Mm-hmm.
Who the hell does Utah State have?
Oh, that's a cue, and I missed it. Do it again.
Who the hell does Utah State have? Exactly.
Gonzaga comes into this game averaging 84.9 points per game. 84.
They put up 86 against McNeese and 89 against Kansas. Purdue only put up 78 against Grambling and $106 against Utah State.
And 83.4 is their points per game coming into this matchup tonight.
And I guarantee you that's a little overinflated with that 106-point performance.
It is. Meanwhile, the team that I said Illinois and UConn is my dream matchup for the East Region title.
Yep.
Right? I did say Illinois and UConn is my dream regional title matchup. And if I'm thinking with my brain, UConn will smash Illinois. Okay?
Illinois is coming in with an 89-63 win over Duquesne.
Mm-hmm.
Or as Jody says, Duquesne.
Yeah.
Duquesne.
But let's be serious. I'm thinking more with my heart than my brain, but my brain is putting a lot of analysis together.
Mm-hmm.
If there's a number 1 seed that could be on the ropes, not is, but could be on the ropes, it's Connecticut. Because I don't. If there's a number 1 seed that could be on the ropes, it's Connecticut. because there is a potential of UConn facing 3-seeded Illinois in the regional championship on Saturday.
Illinois is coming into it with an 85-69 win against Morehead State and the aforementioned 89-63 win.
Let's take a look at the match. Let's take a look at the matchups, shall we? Now, April 8th is the national championship, which means April 8th we're gonna be busy yet again. I've never done a national championship. I will this year. Let's take a look at UConn. UConn plays San Diego State in a championship rematch in the East region. Illinois gets 2-seeded Iowa State. So 5 of the top seeds are still alive in the East region. And the 4th seed that got taken out was Auburn. Auburn lost to Yale, which means Auburn's coach should be sent packing. San Diego State beat up Yale, and now UConn's going to beat up San Diego State again.
Pretty much.
Yep.
Utah's going to beat the hell out of San Diego State. Illinois and Iowa State are going to tangle. And I got Illinois winning that game. And they play at TD Garden in Boston. TD Garden in Boston or Boston.
Boston.
To the West Regional. 1-4 is North Carolina and Alabama. 6-2 goes Clemson and Arizona. Now I have an upset here.
You got Clemson over Arizona?
Hell no.
No.
Matter of fact, Bishop.
Hell no. To the no. Hell to the no. Hell to the no. To the no.
Hell no. Hell no to the no. My upset is Arizona beating North Carolina. Should those two meet in the West Regional Championship?
Ooh.
I have number 2 Arizona beating top-seeded North Carolina or 4-seeded Alabama, because Arizona's going to drill Clemson.
Yeah, they should.
The Arizona Wildcats are going to beat the piss out of Clemson. That's the West. That's the West region. In the South region, 1, 2, 4, and 11 remain, and they're in Dallas. 1-4 is Houston and Duke, and we're all in agreement that Houston goes down.
Yep.
Are we not?
We are.
Oh, easily.
I have another upset. Bye-bye, Marquette.
Oh.
Bye-bye, Marquette.
You think Marquette's gonna get shredded?
It won't even be close.
Wow.
The ghost of Jim Valvano. I keep telling y'all, the ghost of Jim Valvano remains.
Yeah.
I mean, hell, John Calipari is going to come back to Kentucky after he got beat by Oakland. And we didn't, Victor, you and I have seen Oakland University in action.
Yep.
We were at Chicago State for many years.
You sure have.
Marquette is gone. Marquette is gone. Y'all heard it here. Marquette is gone. This is a gritty North Carolina State team. And not only do I say North Carolina beats Marquette, and I'm going to make Shane's eyes pop out with my next statement, North Carolina will also beat Houston or Duke. I think North Carolina State will come out of the South region.
That honestly
On
wouldn't surprise
pure
me.
Guts alone.
North Carolina State's playing with a chip on their shoulder.
Fuck yeah, they are. Oops, I swear. I'm sorry.
Both of you.
I censored myself, Victor.
I didn't. So I'm sorry.
Point being, NC State has a chip on their shoulder the size of the Grand Canyon because of how they got screwed in the seedings.
Oh, absolutely.
And I don't blame them. And
it's going to happen. It's going to be another argument about how our selection's made. Because
it will remain an argument until they fix it.
Because it's always these really glaring mistakes. If you're going by the standings, if you're going by the record, this is a total mismatch.
It should be a total mismatch, but it's a total mismatch in favor of North Carolina State, in my opinion.
I'm just saying that NC State should have been a number 1 seed.
The old powdered wigs in the room don't know what they're doing.
No, they don't. And then to the Midwest region to finish this off before we go to break. Gonzaga is going to drill Purdue, and I don't give two blanks about Creighton and Tennessee. I don't.
We all know Tennessee's going to walk it.
Mm-hmm.
They're walking that dog.
Yeah, and then they're going to get dog walked by Gonzaga.
Oh, yeah, easily. Absolutely.
Tennessee's going to walk Creighton, and then Tennessee's going to get dog walked by Gonzaga. So Gonzaga, get ready to head to Phoenix, Arizona. Old Snowman's making the pick. We got to go to a break. But when we come back, the women's tournament is next, and Chris Edwards follows at the top of the hour. Snowman in the Morning continues after this.
Hey, Eagles fan. Join my man Cool McCain and a host of others as they break down every single game, every single week in an objective manner, and also from a fan's perspective as well. Remember, this cast feels just like you. Nobody likes you. And you don't care. Fly, Eagles, fly. Eagles Elite Podcast. Every Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern on YouTube and other podcast outlets.
Everything Boston. I love you morons. You kids on the block. New Edition.
Dear whatever the law firm is. Sincerely, the U.S. Supreme Court.
Ben Affleck, Matt Damon. Go yourself again, Jason Whitlock.
Ready to hang with some fellas who know football? Let's ride. LC Muscles 28.
I think they're the most overrated defense in the league.
Steel Sermon.
We did not trail for a single second.
Tiny Tim.
McCarthy is a bonehead.
A Pizzle 90.
I'm going with my boys. Fins up, baby.
Get ready for the Four Horsemen of Pick'ems. Every Wednesday night at 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Central on YouTube. Poppy J.
You got the option to cry for the government. You got the option to protest. You got the option to keep buying. But this is also an option.
Wise El Jefe.
We're the first tech geeks. We're the first gamers. We're the first everything. Everything. Like Gen X's, we are the ones.
BS3 Network proudly presents the crew from the New York boroughs who never wants that smoke. Nah, they want that fire. Bobby J and Wise El Jefe, Fridays at 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central. Check your local listings for your viewing and listening pleasure.
Mister, how do you operate this Twitter thing or this Instagram thing or whatever the heck? You're supposed to know all this stuff. Anyway, welcome back to the show.
Shout out to one of the OGs, Wise El Jefe, and the Stuck in My Mind podcast, which is a fabulous program. Y'all need to check it out. It's one of the recommended podcasts on Podbean, and I'm working to get this show and my others, and one that I'm doing with Victor in the same status. It's going to take a lot of hard work. This man's putting in the work. The Stuck in My Mind podcast with some great guests, great subjects, great everything. When he first told me about it and explained it to me, I said, run with it. He has run with it. So to my brother to our brother, one of the OGs, Wise El Jefe, congratulations to you, my friend. Keep putting in that work, and we are going to support it.
Not to mention,
man, I was wondering how long it was going to take before Wise showed up when I kept saying screw New York all the damn time.
Well, also, this guy has been a hard-working dude, not to mention Wise El Jefe in the AM, also Mentality, him with the EP of all EPs, Cole Johnson. This dude's been everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love every minute of it. Love every minute of it. So we are proud of you, Wise El Jefe. And speaking of Cole Johnson, had a talk with him, and the morning shift with Cole Johnson is going to be on Snowman Multimedia's radio network, especially my new station, WJKS.
Nice.
It came to that and trying to decide if it should precede us or follow us. I'm thinking more of the latter. We're getting all the times together. Cole will not be a part of the everyday operations of Snowman in the Morning, but he is still the executive producer, and his production value is unmatched and needs to remain a part of this show. 12 minutes before we see Chris Edwards from Duke University, they will play UConn at the Moda Center in Portland, Oregon. Damn.
Yeah.
In our women's basketball discussion with that intriguing matchup. And when I say intriguing, ladies and gentlemen, hoo-wee.
That's going to be the barn burner of the bracket.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
I mean,
I'm not even going to trip about that.
You're looking at Duke that's put up 75 and 72 against a UConn team that's put up 86 and 72. Mm-hmm. So it's going to be a battle of probably who's going to have the better defense late in the game.
What did I say? What did I say with the women's tournament? War of attrition.
War of attrition. Thank you, Victor. War of attrition. Indeed.
That's what this is going to be between Duke and UConn. Oh,
yeah, it is.
Lord.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. And I'm here for it.
I am too.
I'm here to see. I'm listening to Chris's call. Okay, I'm listening to Chris's call. I'm going to be covered it myself. Wait a minute. I'm going to be covered it myself, but I'm going to have Chris in my ears.
Hold on.
Okay?
I'm saying right now to Mr. McCoffey. No. Absolutely not.
What did he say? I need to pick me up this morning. May I request Still Them Boys by Tyrese Alizé? Hell no.
No.
Man, get out of here with that. We don't need no Tam.
Are you trying to give me a headache this early in the morning, Mr. McCoffey?
Yes.
This is actually expressed.
Do you have to ask that question? Wait a minute. Do you have to ask that question?
Man, I'm telling you right now.
Okay. Let me pose this. Mr. McCoffey, why do you need a pick-me-up this morning? I'm almost afraid of the answer.
I don't mind him getting a pick-me-up, but why that?
Because it's funny.
That's what I want to know.
I do have some news about them boys to a degree, but I'll wait.
Why?
Well,
we're in the middle of a better discussion here.
Exactly. We're talking
about we'll break that news after we have Chris Edwards on. 55 after the hour, 5 toward the next hour, talking women's basketball. Duke and UConn is going to be the barn burner of the Sweet 16.
Mm-hmm.
But all eyes will be on Albany, New York, and Caitlin Clark.
The countdown to her taking over the WNBA has begun. And I'm here for
that begun the moment she declared.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. The moment she declared, her countdown.
The moment she declared, the countdown started.
Because,
but now Iowa cannot lose focus. Their goal is the national championship, and they have a tough Colorado team from the Big Ten, from the Pac-10.
They do.
Jobs got me dragging today. Heck, this entire week. That's why I need to pick me up. Okay, you win.
But why that?
Oh, crap.
It's a Alex Victor. It's a laugh.
Before we begin, let me start off with the preamble. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise. Throw in face palm as we honor the moronic Republic of Cowboys Nation with the singing of the national anthem as sung by Tyrone Alize McDummy, a.k.a. Tam.
God.
Hey, ain't nobody calling me, texting me, paging me, asking me, are you still involved? Calling me, texting me, paging me, asking me, am I still involved? Y'all usually check on me. Listen. I'm still involved. Oh, shut up, my boy. I'm still them boys. Oh, I'm still them boys. I'm still them boys. Yeah. I'm still them boys. Yeah.
I just lost IQ points.
I feel like YSL Hefe right now. When I say the following phrase, whatever do to you, Mr. McCarthy? What did I do? What did I ever do to you?
Speaking of Wise, I saw the chat, Wise. Yes. We are going to talk later.
Oh,
but screw New York!
Victor,
love to see these guys.
I love it too, Victor.
Yes,
I was asked to give this to you.
What's that?
I was asked to give that to you.
You know what? I appreciate it. I think he's paying me back for nearly killing him in OBX.
Yes.
After
North Carolina.
Yeah,
right?
After him being in North Carolina, and I had you unleash and summon something.
Which is your fault, by the way.
I'm going
to playfully continue to blame Victor for that.
You can. It was my fault. I fully take the blame for that. It was my fault.
Oh, this show's going off the rails today.
When are we ever on the damn rails?
Fair. Okay. Now
we've had vague attempts.
When are we ever on the damn rails?
We've had some really vague attempts at it.
Now back to
business. Really quick. All eyes are going to be on Caitlin Clark. The most intriguing matchup is Duke and UConn. Mm-hmm. I will give you a underdog matchup that could draw a lot of attention. And that matchup is tomorrow at 10 p.m. with Gonzaga and top-seeded Texas.
Mm-hmm.
I think Texas is on the ropes with this matchup.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I think Texas is on the ropes. I'll give you another matchup that could draw some eyes. And that matchup is Baylor and Southern California. How's that? Baylor and Southern California, Baylor and USC, I believe it's a 3 and a 2.
Baylor and USC, no, it's a 1-5. USC is the 1 seed.
Oh, that's
Baylor's
right,
5.
1-5. Thank you. It's a 1-5. 5-1 Colorado and Iowa. 7-3 Duke and UConn, and Chris Edwards is on the way. 4-1 Gonzaga and Texas. 3-2 is here's an underrated matchup. 3-2 Friday, 7:30. NC State and Stanford.
I still think UConn. I still think UConn Duke's gonna be the bigger draw out of that.
That could be a tie, though.
It could be a tie.
NC State, Stanford, and Duke and UConn. UConn's going to draw a lot of eyes. I know that.
Oh yes, absolutely. You got two of the top tiers.
Duke, UConn to. I don't think they finished the night. I'm still trying to memorize the schedule. They do finish the night. I beg your pardon. Duke and UConn will finish the night.
The main event. Yep, that's the main event.
Duke and UConn will finish Saturday, and Gonzaga and Texas will finish Friday, which means I ain't going to bed until 1:00 in the morning.
You ain't going to bed till 1:00. That means I'm probably not going to go to bed till 2:00.
Which means I ain't going to bed. I ain't going to bed till 1:00 in the morning. All right, I'm not going to bed till 1:00 in the morning. All right, we reached the top of the hour. And speaking of Duke and UConn, after the break, someone very special will drop by to talk about that matchup. The second hour of Snowman in the Morning is on the way after this.
Where did the time go? I don't know how I got here.
You've done the hard part. You quit smoking. Now do the easy part and get scanned for lung cancer. If you smoked, you may still be at risk, but early detection could save your life. Talk to your doctor and learn more at savedbythescan.org.
If you're talking, they will hear you.
We all want our kids to grow up safe and healthy, so we show them how. And we tell them with honest conversations that let them know what we expect. Not just one time, but every chance we get. That's especially important when it comes to alcohol and other drugs. Kids not only need to know the dangers and how to avoid them, they need to hear it often from you. And when it comes to pain medications, opioids, they need to know that they should never be taken without a prescription and never shared with friends or family. It's dangerous and illegal. So talk with your kids and guide them through the challenges of growing up safe and healthy. Because when you talk, they hear you. For more information about talking with your kids about underage use of alcohol and other drugs, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov.
So tell me, here, you can do it if you try.
He was only 58 years old when he passed away. That outcome could have been different.
Colorado happens to be one of the worst states for radon levels.
It's in our ground, and it seeps up.
The more you breathe radon, the more chance you have of DNA being hit and the cell mutated. The EPA estimates 22,000 lung cancer deaths a year caused by radon.
We all make choices. When it comes to alcohol, kids make choices whether to drink or not.
Bye, Dad.
Bye-bye.
Remember, I'm going to Alex's party tonight and sleeping over.
Have fun. Hey, have a seat for a second. Remind me about that party again?
Alex is just
And adults make choices whether to talk about it. That's true of parents and every other trusted adult in a kid's life. Kids want to know our expectations when it comes to alcohol and other drugs. They want guidance and honest answers to their questions. And it makes a difference when the message is consistent and part of everyday conversations. So talk with your kids and help lead them on a positive path. Because when you talk, they hear you. For more information about talking with your kids about underage use of alcohol and other drugs, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov.
Mister? how do you operate this Twitter thing or this Instagram thing or whatever the heck? You're supposed to know all this stuff. Anyway, welcome back to the show.
Hour 2 is here, and it's presented by Invader Coffee, aiming to serve one of the highest quality organic air-roasted coffee beans sourced from free trade farms all over the world. The best coffee at an affordable price. Log on to invadercoffee.com, place your order, use the code SNOWMAN for 15% off said order. Invader Coffee, fuel for the fearless. Before we went to break, we spoke of Duke and UConn in women's basketball.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I got a homie of mine down that is in Carolina. I had wanted to have this guy on for the longest time, but his schedule was busy, my schedule was busy, and then I got sick. But I have him now. Please help me welcome the voice of Duke University women's basketball, and I know he's jumping out of his seat for this one. Chris Edwards now joining us on the Invader Coffee guest line. Hey, you!
Hey, guys.
What up, dude?
Great to be with you. Thanks for having me.
Chris Edwards,
Hey,
how are
great
you?
great to be with you, man. How excited are you about this?
Yeah, really excited. I mean, listen, this is a really young Duke team, guys. I mean, you guys probably know this. Duke's lost 7 of their top 9 scores from a season ago. And coming into this year, knew they were going to be young, but for this team to be playing as well as they are right now, getting to a Sweet 16, first time Duke's been into the Sweet 16 since 2018. Man, how exciting is this for this young group, this core nucleus, and another top 5 recruiting class coming in next year for the Blue Devils? Really feels like this is just the beginning for Coach Lawson's team.
What do you think turned the light on for these young Devils throughout the season? Can you point to a game or a stretch of games where they like really just pulled it all together?
Yeah, I mean, it's been kind of up and down, right? It's a young team. So I made the analogy earlier. It's like 2 steps forward, 1 step back, right?
Yep.
And Duke has played a really challenging non-conference schedule. You look at the schedule this team put together: Stanford on the road in Palo Alto, South Carolina, the USA women's national team, Richmond, who Duke saw in the first round of the NCAA tournament. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. Toledo, who won their league or was going to in contention to win their league, right? They challenged themselves for moments like this. They played Virginia Tech, split with Virginia Tech, split with NC State, split with North Carolina. All of those teams are in the NCAA tournament. So they were battle tested. I don't know that there was one game, guys, or one stretch of games. I mean, listen, beat Florida State at home by 40. You beat Georgia Tech at home by 40. Then you have a couple games where it just didn't go your way. Louisville on the road didn't look great at NC State. But I really think the loss to NC State in the ACC tournament, that was one of those back and forth, grinded out kind of games. Had a chance to tie it at the end, missed a 3, and then Duke got a week off. You got a chance to get healthy, got a chance to work on themselves, go back to some fundamentals. I think that really helped. And then you go to a place last week with just a tremendous atmosphere in Columbus and a great road win for Duke. I do think it was that week off between the conference tournament and the NCAA tournament that kind of got everybody on the same page.
The win y'all had in Columbus over Ohio State by 12, and y'all trailed by double digits in that game.
About 16, yeah.
Down 16. I had a chance to look at that game and make some notes myself. Down 16, and you win by 12. I looked at their body language. You and I have talked about this so many times off the air, man. I looked at their body language. They were not shaken at all, even down 16. It's like they knew, okay, we got them right where we want them. And then all of a sudden it flipped.
I don't know if down 16 is right where you want somebody. But sure. I mean, but listen, this is a team that's done this all year. You look back in November, they went out to Stanford and were down 14 in the first quarter at Stanford and came back and forced overtime and nearly had a chance to win that game over a top 5 team. So listen, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that we want to get down by 16 points against UConn on Saturday. I don't want that to happen. Now we can get up by 16 and win by 26, and I'm okay with that, but I don't let's win some of these games going away. This old man doesn't need all this stress in his life about how close these games are. But the point being, there's nothing that's going to surprise this team, right? They've seen it all. They've been up 16. They've been down 16. They've come back and win. They've won tight games. They've been in time and score situations. That's why Coach Lawson schedules these games, is for these experiences in March, so that when you get here, you've seen everything. You've seen a box and one. You've seen zone. You've seen man. You've seen teams that have great players. Nothing's going to surprise you because you know what? When you get to the second weekend in March, everybody's good.
Oh, for sure. And the one thing that this team has had that most young teams hasn't, that most teams have not displayed yet this year, confidence.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think
Massive.
so. And you know what? It's not just one player, right? I mean, it's Reagan Richardson went off in the first and second rounds. He had 25 and then 28 against Richmond and Ohio State, respectively. But Ashlyn Jackson has scored in double figures, I think, in 6 of her last 9 games. Then you've got freshmen like Alucia Conwell, who comes off the bench and was the ACC 6th Player of the Year. Kennedy Brown in the post. I mean, I can go down the list. I mean, this is a team that's got 13 players, and all 14 can play. I mean, everybody on the roster has seen time this year, and you can pinpoint to a game at some point this year where everybody's made a contribution. Everybody has impacted winning at some point this year, and I think that's, to your point, a really good point. Everybody's confident. Everybody knows that when my number is called, I can go out there and contribute. And I don't know that you can say that about every team that's left in the NCAA tournament.
Oh, easily not.
Chris Edwards joining us here on the program via the Invader Coffee guest line out in Portland, Oregon. And now you get Paige Beckers in UConn. You're going to get a loud house at the Moda Center because we talked about this before the break. This is the most intriguing matchup, I believe, of the weekend. 7th-seeded Duke and 3rd-seeded UConn in a matchup that in your mind expected to happen, but on paper wasn't supposed to happen because you had number 2 Ohio State in front of you. Take a look at this matchup, and what do you see with this matchup against the legendary Gino Auriemma and the Connecticut Huskies? It's going to be a loud house in Portland. Give me 3 keys to your game on Saturday against UConn. What do the Devils have to do to spring this upset?
Yeah, well, I'm still diving in on the Huskies. That's a big part of today. We don't play till Saturday, so today's a big part of diving in on UConn and looking. I watched their last game against Syracuse on Monday just to see who we would play. Obviously, we played Syracuse earlier in the year. But listen, I don't care if UConn's got 17 healthy players or 7 healthy players like they have right now. Anytime you've got Gino Auriemma on the sideline, they're going to be prepared.
Yes.
I do think that one of the big keys for Duke, and this has been the key, I think, for Duke all year long, take care of the basketball. I mean, this is a team that has had a propensity at times to turn the basketball over. They've got to take care of the ball. They can't just give UConn extra possessions. And it's different, like live ball turnovers versus dead ball turnovers. You hear coaches talk about that all the time. But you can't turn the ball over. That's first and foremost. You got to make shots. I mean, you got to. You can't get down by 16 points. You can't keep falling behind. Duke was down by 9 at the half against Richmond in the first round of the NCAA tournament. Can't keep doing that and expect to win as we get deeper into this tournament. So make shots, don't fall behind early. And then I think we as in Duke have to pressure UConn. I don't know that UConn has seen a defense quite like the Blue Devils are going to play. I mean, Duke is known under Coach Lawson's leadership as this tough-nosed, physical, man-to-man defense. They pressure you, they get after you. That's why depth is so important. I do think Duke's depth is going to help them in this game just because UConn is injured. I mean, no Caroline Ducharme, no AZ Fudd. The list goes on and on and on, right? You got to control Beckers. I mean, listen, what a player. What a player.
Right.
You know, oh my gosh. But you know what? Even if you control Becker, they've got Nika Mule, who lit Duke up last year in Portland, as a matter of fact, in the PK 85. And then you've got Aaliyah Edwards in the post. I mean, you got 7 healthy players, but you got 3 All-Americans. Like, you know, and I get AZ Fudd's on the bench. I get, and she's injured, and I get Ducharme's hurt. But you know what? It's UConn. It's UConn. And at some point, you just got to get over the fact that it's UConn, right? It doesn't matter who it is. You hear coaches all the time talk about playing a nameless, faceless opponent. And that's what Duke's got to do. Just make UConn another nameless, faceless opponent. Go out, make some shots. Don't turn the ball over. Execute your game plan, and you'll be in a good position. I'm not going to say you're going to win the game, but if you do those 3 things, you're going to put yourself in a position to win the game. And that's what it's about this time of year. Give yourself a shot at the end of the game to make a play to go to the Elite Eight, something Duke has not done since 2013.
He is Chris Edwards, the play-by-play voice of Duke women's basketball as they get ready to face the UConn Huskies on Saturday in Portland, Oregon. And I know I'll be paying attention to that game and listening to this guy's voice carry us home. Good luck, my friend. Have a great call on Saturday.
Great to be with you. Thanks for having me.
Chris Edwards joining us here on the program, and he's right. The turnovers have to be limited for the Duke Blue Devils to spring this massive upset. And let me come back to you guys. How massive would it be for them to spring this upset?
It'd be major. Absolutely major for them to pull this upset, because then they'd be looking at more than likely still facing a much higher seed, whether it's USC or Baylor, to try to get into the Final Four.
And think about it from this perspective. The triangle has had most of college basketball in a bit of a stranglehold. If it isn't UNC, it's Duke. If it isn't Duke, it's UNC. If it's not either one of them, it's NC State. But then we saw a changing of the guard when UConn took over. And now it's UConn. And now it's UConn that's had most of college basketball in a stranglehold. Now Duke has a chance to wrest that away and assert their dominance once again.
Mm-hmm. And you mentioned North Carolina State. They will play Stanford. Let me thank my homie Chris Edwards for being on the program. Finally had a chance to get him on. I'm so excited about that.
That's an honor, man.
He's a very that
was cool.
That really is
a very dear friend of a friend of mine, and now a friend of the program, longtime voice of the Duke Blue Devils women's basketball team. All of our guests appear via the Invader Coffee Global Guest Line. Invader Coffee aims to serve only the highest quality organic air-roasted coffee beans sourced from free trade farms all over the world. The best coffee at an affordable price. Log on to invadercoffee.com, place your order, use the code Snowman for 15% off. Invader Coffee, fuel for the fearless. When we come back, Victor has some breaking news about the Cowboys. I don't like it.
It's something that we kind of has a foregone conclusion, but it's something I decided to just bring up as a random musing.
Oh, crap.
And whenever Victor puts random music at the end of his sentence, A, you got to listen. B, you have to face palm, which I'm probably going to do when you all get back. Snowman in the Morning, back after this.
Everything Boston. I love you morons. New Kids on the Block, New Edition.
Dear whatever the law firm is. Sincerely, the U.S. Supreme Court.
Ben Affleck, Matt Damon. Go yourself again, Jason
Join the transporter to Hades.
Your butt and gut becomes one.
Join the reformer of hooker whores.
This is my daughter, Placenta Booty Johnson.
Join the bronze claw.
Whenever you are in distress, take off your baseball cap and throw it in the air.
Join your very own superhero of broadcasting, Chris Bass.
So whatever color crayon they get, they palm it and do two circles, and that translates to I can beat up black people.
As she takes you through the week's paces in Baseline. Live every Saturday at 8 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Central, Pacific Time Zone people, just stay asleep when this is on live and just catch the recording. Exclusively on the Chris Bass YouTube channel. Ready to hang with some fellas who know football? Let's ride. LC Muscles 28.
I think they're the most overrated defense in the league.
Steel Sermon.
We did not trail for a single second.
Tiny Tim.
McCarthy is a bonehead.
A Pizzle 90.
I'm going with my boys. Fins up, baby.
Get ready for the Four Horsemen of Peckham's. Every Wednesday night at 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Central on YouTube.
Mister, how do you operate this Twitter thing or this Instagram thing or whatever the heck? You're supposed to know all this stuff. Anyway, welcome back to the show.
Next week, I'll celebrate a very special anniversary on the show. You'll hear details about that as we go along. Okay, Victor, what do you got?
Okay, so checking on through my spiel of different sites. Of course, I went to SI.com.
Oh, jeez.
And we got
why did you do that?
Hey, I don't get mad at you for doom scrolling the bronzexual social media, so don't jump on me on this, okay?
They find me just like this found you. I totally get it.
Exactly.
Victor, I say it in love. You know, I totally get it.
I know. So, for what I gather, we know that this year is going to mark the end of that ridiculous deal that was done earlier for Dak Prescott's extension.
Are they going to kick him out?
They may be.
Really?
Because
now you have my attention.
Because according to Ian Rappaport, there has yet to be any indication that there will be a new deal coming up for Dak and the Cowboys, which means that Dak might end up becoming a free agent
and staying out.
Yes. For me as a Cowboys fan, it's a win-win because in the unlikely event that Dak Prescott does well, and yes, I said that for a reason.
Thank you.
In the unlikely event that Dak does well and possibly gets the Cowboys to an NFC championship or even gets to the Super Bowl, then they're probably going to extend him and we go about our merry way.
Oh, hell no.
But what I think is going to happen is that once the
20 interceptions,
once the Cowboys fall flat on their face again, we are now relinquished. We are now unshackled by the contract that is Dak Prescott, and possibly also test the waters not only free agency, but also possibly go into the next draft looking for what we need ever since Troy Aikman left. Oh, that's right, a franchise quarterback.
And because Dak ain't it. And if there's no extension for Dak, I'm going to see Victor doing this.
No.
EP of all EPs for that clip right there.
I got one better, man. Victor is gonna blow his legs out Vince McMahon style and still be dancing when that's all said and done.
And I got bad, and I got 2 left feet, a tendonitis ankle, and 2 bad knees, and I'll still be doing it.
Same.
Now, all of this again,
I'll blow both my ankles out. I got 2 left feet. Okay, let me just go ahead and say it. I got 2 left feet. Me, dance? Hell no. Can't do it, won't do it.
Thank you, Brother Wise, for the compliment. Here's the other thing.
And yes, Brother Wise, we love you. Thank you, Wise. And I hope Wise, I'm gonna set it up where you, Cole, and everybody can have access and come on back. All right. I know you've been busy, but we'd love to have you back. JJ is with us. Opening day roster is finalized for the Phillies. Who? No,
here's the thing. Now,
JJ. I'm kidding.
All of this left of speculation because we still haven't got the draft yet. We still don't know what's going to happen.
Right.
There is plenty of time for the Cowboys to, hit themselves in the head and say, "Let's give Dak another extension." That could definitely happen.
Yes.
Having said all that, this is probably the best opportunity for the Cowboys fans, because it's time for us to face facts. When it comes to the bright lights, when it comes to the prime time, when it comes to the real nitty-gritty,
he ain't it.
Dak Prescott has appeared shorter than Mini-Me on top of a stepladder and the smallest hell in the cell. It's how it is. And I'm gonna use one of Snowman's quotes. Find a lie.
Oh, you bastard. I just chipped a tooth laughing. I just bounced my head off my steering wheel and I chipped a tooth.
Oops, sorry.
Damn it, Victor!
But as I said before, Snowman, you know the next question. You know the next question I'm going to ask. Find the lie.
Oh,
Victor?
Yes?
Say that again, please.
Find the
whole
lie.
thing. No.
Oh.
Before you said find the lie.
Oh, the fact that Dak Prescott has appeared shorter than Mini-Me on top of a step stool in the smallest hell in the cell?
That.
Ow!
Again, find the lie.
No lie to be found.
He doesn't have it. And he never has
No
had it.
lie to be found.
He has the talent, but he does not have the mental capacity to take on adversity.
Step stool.
In the smallest
Mini-Me. Wait. Smaller.
Than Mini-Me.
Smaller than Mini-Me.
On a step stool inside the smallest hell in a cell.
It's horrendous.
Okay, when you said Dak Prescott comes up smaller than Mini-Me.
And how you doing, my brother? Sick Giggy.
What's up, Sick? On the smallest step stool. In the smallest hell in a cell. Victor coupled it with 3 of my favorite words. Say them again.
Find the lie.
And I have never, ever raved about Dak Prescott and never will. And we're talking about his days at Mississippi State, where he was leading his team in 2014. And this is when I was living with the roommate who thought he knew college football.
Mm-hmm.
That's a story in itself, and I'll tell that one to close the show. This is when he thought he knew. Oh, sorry, wrong way. This is when Dak Prescott was leading Mississippi State into the first ever college football playoff. And what happened? They got smacked by Mississippi.
Yep.
They got smacked by Ole Miss.
Here's the problem.
They got smacked. They got beat up. They got drilled by Ole Miss.
Here's the funny thing, right?
They got.
Here's the funny thing.
Okay, real-time research coming.
Here's the funny thing, guys. We were only a year removed from JJDJ, otherwise known as Gerald Jack Daniel Jones.
Dear God.
Proclaiming that Dak Prescott is our quarterback of the future. And it will be foolhardy to give up on him. Well, apparently you're about to. Maybe you're finally seeing what everyone else has been seeing. That Dak Prescott just doesn't have it upstairs.
Duh!
I've always said this, and I will continue to say it. He's not that bad talent-wise. Dude's got a cannon for an arm. He's got amazing legs. Has pretty decent...
I made a mistake.
Oh?
It wasn't Mississippi that ended his Heisman campaign and Mississippi State's college football playoff campaign. It was Alabama when they surrendered 48 points to Alabama. And Mr. Prescott in that game, where are you? He rushed the ball 22 times for 82 yards.
Okay.
He threw for 290, 2 touchdowns, 3 interceptions.
Gee, that sounds indicative of what we've been seeing as part of Cowboys Nation, haven't we?
Since y'all drafted him. He sucks.
Now, I said this before. I continue to say it, and I will continue to say it. He's not this bad talent-wise. The dude's got a cannon for an arm. He's got really good legs. He's been mobile.
Correct.
Very mobile. He's got decent vision when his offensive line wants to help him. He's got the tools to work, except what's upstairs.
Yep.
And what's upstairs ain't much.
He's this
That's
bad head-wise, and he's this bad heart-wise because he always gets so doggone dejected after a loss. It doesn't really have to really pick himself back up the way he should.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really becoming a problem because the way he feels, guess what? The rest of the Cowboys feel the same way.
Fool.
As much as it hurts me to say this, i.e., week 5.
I must tell this story. When I did that game, Cowboys and 49ers, I will honestly say that I went in a little bit apprehensive. Why? Because the Cowboys gave us all kinds of hell in the divisional round matchup. The play that rescued the 49ers, and you guys know which play I'm talking about, the play that rescued the 49ers and sent them on their way to Philadelphia was what?
Play action.
The miracle catch by George the Animal.
Oh, the Kittle catch.
George the Animal Kittle.
And I always said that was just George Kittle having such amazing concentration to pull that ball because he should not have pulled that ball in.
He shouldn't have.
He really should not.
He had no listen, George Kittle had no business making that catch. None
whatsoever.
None.
Absolutely
And Trayvon
zero.
Diggs was ready to drill his ass.
Trayvon
should have drilled his ass.
He should have, but the problem was
Trayvon Diggs was ready to drill his ass.
The problem is that Trayvon over pursued and got the angle wrong, which really springed Kittle to be able to make that catch.
And for those of you who missed it, this is the catch.
Purdy. A lot of room now. Odin up over the middle. Oh, what a catch by Kittle. Are you kidding? George Kittle. Well, I'll tell you what, EA. That might be a play to get him a little life and a little confidence. You're going to see Kittle. He's not even really part of the route. This is just scramble drill. Brock Purdy kind of breaks.
Diggs went for the huge hit and missed.
Yep.
Missed badly.
Missed
badly. I'm not reading that.
I'll read it. I will read it.
Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Do not do it.
Six, my man. I gotta do it for him.
Do not press that button. I don't care.
You have the button. I don't. I'll give breaking news. Tyrone Alize McDummy, also known as Tam, will be releasing a new track entitled "Dak is Still My Man."
That's wrong.
More information about the CD that drops called "I Am Moronic, Hear Me Roar" will be coming up soon.
So I realized that I think, even though it's not advertised,
right,
there has to be a place for stupid people. We don't know because we're not stupid, so we don't know anything about it. It's like a secret club society.
Oh my gosh.
So I come to the conclusion that he graduated from SU, stupid university. Yeah, all the stupid ass letters that go along with graduating high honors of being stupid. I can't do no more, man.
Aminos, dominos, vamonos. Stupid university, where everyone graduates magna cum stupid.
Victor, I am cussing you out post-show. I am telling you right now. As soon as we get off the air, I am blasting your ass 29 ways from Sunday.
And now Victor's going to blast me 29 days from Sunday for this.
Oh,
Let's go. To get to the quarterback here. Prescott takes off running the football. Whoa, I don't think this is going to work out.
It will. They'll be able to clock this. They were planning for it. It's down. Oh, my gosh.
Oh, the official gets in the way. The game's over. Gosh. The game is over.
Oh, he did. Oh, they're going to look at this. It's going to be over because the umpire has to touch the ball. Of course, that's ridiculous for a game to end like that, Jim. Wow, I am livid if I'm a Cowboy fan and if I'm a Niner fan.
That's the end of the game. The game is over. The game is over, and San Francisco
survives and advances. Now, I was working at a hotel in Columbus, Indiana, when that game was going on. My supervisor, the one that doesn't like football, kept telling me, don't watch that game. We have customers. Yeah. In my mind, I said,
shut up, fool.
And I also said a whole lot of you. And I was working 3 to 11.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you think my other supervisor did? Stocked the coffee, stocked the cream, and said, what do you want? Something that'll keep me awake. You know what she fixes me? She takes some coffee, mixes it with hot chocolate, and decides to really mess me up and put Irish cream in there.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I was bouncing off the walls and bouncing between my desk and watching that game. I saw that play, jumped up and down, nearly fell on my ass. Yeah, all that happened. And Joel Embiid is traveling with the Sixers to continue his workouts and will return in 2 weeks. JJ, you're not going to like my next statement, but he shouldn't return.
Here's so let me tell you what happened when I saw that, right?
You cussed.
I did more than that. I'm watching it, right? And I'm like, okay, that's a great run. Now all they gotta do is get the ref to spot the ball. And what are they doing? What are they doing? Why are you blocking out the ref? He has to touch the football. He has to touch the football. They're going to lose. They're going to lose.
And
then
the clock ran out.
People in my Discord.
And I love Discord now.
I love Discord. They sat there and said, oh, look, they screwed the Cowboys again. No, they didn't.
Mm-hmm. They screwed themselves.
Because the referee had to spot the football. And I had idiots argue with me, tell me, no, the center can spot the football. No, he can't. You learn this in Pee Wee.
And you said that too the next day.
You learn this in Pee Wee. The referee must spot the ball.
Victor said just that the next day.
It is one.
You learn this in Pee Wee, and you do.
It's one of the things with football that's different than any other sport. Is that in order for the game to continue to proceed, the referee, the official, must hold on to the football, must spot the football. They must touch the ball. Yes. Which is why whenever you see a run like that, what's the first thing any smart football player does? Hands it to the referee.
Mm-hmm.
That way, if Dak had a brain in his head, if he only had a brain, like the Scarecrow said in The Wizard of Oz.
Yes.
If he had a brain in his head, he would have tossed the ball to the referee. The referee would have spot the ball. They would have lined up with at least about 3 or 2 seconds left on the clock. Therefore, he could take the ball down it
with 1 second remaining.
Yes. Set up for a field goal, set up for at least 1 or 2 shots at the end zone. I would be happy with that loss. If they took one from the end zone and missed, we gave it our all.
Yep.
But losing in that manner.
Mm-hmm.
That's rough.
I'm going to have an argument with JJ off the air. Joel Embiid should not come back until the playoffs. Because I listen, let me see, me and JJ are going to have, JJ and I aren't not going to have an argument. We're not going to have a boxing match.
Disagreement.
We're not gonna have a disagreement.
It's gonna be a fight.
We're not even gonna have, and I say all this very kiddingly. Y'all know that we're not even gonna have a very respectable discourse. We're gonna fight. JJ, I love you, brother, but we gonna fight.
And Joel Embiid, you a bitch.
That's what started all that.
Yes.
Because I will say this about Joel Embiid until I see different. Okay? I will say this about Joel Embiid until I see different. And I know JJ's going to defend him to the end because he's a Sixers fan, and I get it.
Mm-hmm.
But until I see Joel Embiid take his team to the brink of a title with a chance to clinch, which means he's going to have the gall, the balls, the nuts, and the nerve, I ain't trusting him. I'm sorry. I do not. And plus, the injury history doesn't help.
It doesn't.
Nope. Not at all.
It doesn't.
The only one that's got worse injury record is freaking Anthony Davis.
Mr. Glass.
I got one
himself.
worse than that, but I save it on Wednesdays. Find the lie.
None to be found.
Nope.
Because you don't. The injury history. Somehow he got an MVP last year, and I don't know how. Because he's not all.
He cried.
Physically, wait a minute. Physically, he's there. Okay? Physically. But Embiid ain't got it up here.
I'll tell you that. He cried the whole time.
So I'm going to get socked in the mouth by JJ. He's going to throw beer at me. No, JJ wouldn't waste a latte. He wouldn't waste he wouldn't waste a latte, and I wouldn't either. But he's going to throw a bucket of water at me. And I got to sit in for him on Sunday.
He might even beat you with a roasted chicken.
No, he's going to beat me with he's going to beat me with 2 roasted chickens. I know JJ.
And a Philly cheesesteak.
Wait a minute. JJ loves food as much as I do, so he wouldn't waste the food. But if it's a rotten roasted chicken, he'll swing that sumbitch like Bryce Harper is swinging at a fastball right down the middle. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
I know my buddy. But Joel Embiid, you a bitch. Until I see until these old ass eyes
see differently.
And I haven't seen it with Joel Embiid, even when his days at Kansas when he kept sitting on the bench because he was injured.
Mm-hmm.
You a bitch. Now, I couple it with these 3 phrases. Find the lie and prove me wrong. The Lakers couldn't do it, and Joel Embiid ain't going to be able to do it either.
And here's the thing.
Does he have the ability? Yes, he does.
And here's the thing. Embiid does not have an excuse anymore.
No.
Because the excuse that we said the last time.
Ben Simmons, he can't blame Ben Simmons because that sumbitch is out of the NBA, thank God.
Yep.
He's out for the year, and he should be out with the NBA. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much.
He should be out of the NBA. He should have never gotten drafted out of LSU. Matter of fact, I might make that a take after the break. I don't know. James Harden's bitch ass is gone.
Exactly. And that was the issues we had last year.
James Harden is sticking up the joint in LA, and JJ texted me and said James Harden disappeared.
Yeah.
In their game against the Clippers in LA, which prompted me to say, James Harden, you a bitch.
Yes, he is.
You a bitch.
The legendary Cole Johnson would agree.
Find the lie.
For God's sake, sick. Really?
Oh, my leg. Oh, my leg. Oh, my leg.
Mm-hmm.
This opinion of Joel Embiid is brought to you by Bum Leg Orthopedics. The only thing keeping the glass man playing, Bum Leg Orthopedic. Oh, my leg. Oh, my leg.
Oh, my leg. Oh, my leg. We'll tell that old my leg story off the air. A break. And when y'all get back, random musings and random rambling from yours truly. And I got a few subjects to cover. Back after this.
Attention sports fans, looking for the ultimate gear and apparel to show your team pride? Look no further than Fanatics, the #1 destination for sports enthusiasts. Visit snowmanmultimediasports.com today and shop a wide selection of officially licensed merchandise from your favorite teams and players. From jerseys to hats to accessories to collectibles, Fanatics has it all. Don't miss out on the chance to elevate your game day experience. Head over to snowmanmultimediasports.com/fanatics and gear up like a true fan with Fanatics. Officially licensed everything. Are you ready to upgrade your coffee game? Prepare for an invasion of flavor with Invader Coffee. It's the caffeinated elixir that fuels champions, the blend that pushes boundaries. Whether you're battling deadlines or exploring uncharted territories, Invader Coffee has your back. Join the invasion at invadercoffee.com and taste the difference for yourself. Use the code SNOWMAN for 15% off your first order. Invader Coffee, veteran owned.
Hey, Eagles fan. Join my man Cool McCain and a host of others as they break down every single game, every single week in an objective manner, and also from a fan's perspective as well. Remember, this cast feels just like you. Nobody likes you. And you don't care. Fly, Eagles, fly. Eagles Elite Podcast. Every Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern on YouTube and other podcast outlets.
Mister, how do you operate this Twitter thing or this Instagram thing or whatever the heck? You're supposed to know all this stuff. Anyway, welcome back to the show.
So I got a text message during the break from somebody that's listening to the show and think, hey, you shouldn't be calling people that word. Do you watch basketball? No. Do you know who Joel Embiid is? No. Then shut the hell up. Meanwhile, me and JJ were having a laugh during the break. He said, I love the disagreements. I love the fight. I'm like, JJ, you're my boy. Okay. JJ's my homie, and we fight all the time. Just like I fight with Victor and with Shane. It's just so much fun having him in on the fun. 49 after the hour. We're getting ready to wrap up shop here. And I got a few musings of my own.
Let's hear them.
Where do I start?
Oh, crap.
Okay. Dak Prescott, you a bitch.
Yes, he is.
Why? Because Dak Prescott said during the year they were so confident that they were going to come to I was going to say Candlestick Park, Levi's Stadium, and beat the 49ers and Brock Purdy. Yes, that Brock Purdy put a foot in their ass.
Yep.
Good what you can only say. Yes, they did.
Davud Denavifer, you a major bitch.
He didn't call out the voter by name.
By full government name, doggone it.
Government name.
You a bitch. I've got a laundry list of reasons as to why. But since we're running out of time, I will pick a couple. Now, I will say that the one good point that came from my quote unquote friendship with him, he got me hooked on Starbucks.
More like you trying to get away with him got you hooked on Starbucks.
Say that again, Victor, please. Please
More
say
like
that.
you trying to get away from him is what got you hooked on Starbucks. Not necessarily him. I wouldn't give him that credit.
I was so trying to get the hell away from him. I mean, to a point where I would wake up early. And y'all remember that. Both of y'all remember this in 2014 when I lived with him. I would wake up early just to get the hell out of the house and away from him. And drive my ass to Starbucks in Glenview and stay there until he would leave the house.
Yep.
And it took all day, but doggone it, I did it. I did it. That's the first thing. That's the first thing. The second thing, he was like the Emmanuel Acho of Starbucks people. He was just there. He's like the Chicago Cubs. They're just there. You know what I mean?
They're just there.
He's just there. It's like whenever the Patriots face the New York Jets. They're just there. Tell me I'm wrong.
No, you're not.
Tell me I'm wrong.
You're not.
Not at all.
I mean, they're just there, okay? And at the time, there was another shop in that complex, and I can't remember the name of it to save my life, but y'all remember Boston Market?
Yes.
Yep.
Do you know how many times I invaded Boston Market just to get away from his ass?
Too many.
A whole lot.
I would try to sneak food in the house.
Oh, no.
Didn't work.
No, it did not.
Oh, no.
Matter of fact, one day, I went to the grocery store with my money and bought some fixins, including brats, including beer, some other stuff I cooked with. In 1 week's time, it all disappeared, and I got none of it.
Oh, no.
He cooked my brats.
I remember this story.
He cooked my brats.
Oh,
I remember this. There are two things
I
you
drove
don't touch.
the two things you don't touch: my money and my food.
You don't touch another man's beer. You don't touch another man's brats.
He cooked my brats and drank my beer. My apple orchard. And you know, at the time, Victor, I was an apple orchard freak.
Yep.
I loved apple orchard. I can't have much alcohol now because I got organs missing. But man, I was into some apple orchard. Hell, apple orchard kept me calm. Okay? The Starbucks to start the day hyped me up, but when I had to go home and deal with this village idiot, the apple orchard kept me calm. My apple orchard was gone. My apple orchard disappeared. Needless to say, I went in that room and wore his punk ass out.
Yep.
Victor remembers that day.
I do. All I heard, because I got a phone call from Snowman. He doesn't know this. When you called me, I could still hear the groaning in the background.
Oh, yeah.
And then you said, I have to go. I'll call you back.
Yep. I did. No lie to be found.
And
no lie to be found at all.
He called me at the Starbucks and I said, "Did you wear him out?" I wore his punk ass out.
Listen, my exact sentence was, I wore that sumbitch out.
My God. That was the funniest thing I ever
He drank
heard.
my beer. He ate my brats.
Mm-hmm.
And he had the nerve to say, you can always get more. I wore his ass out again. And called Shane. I called Shane. And Shane's first question to me, which was very accurate, why are you breathing so heavy? And before I could say anything, Shane goes, oh no, what'd he do?
I wore it out again.
I told him what happened. Shane simply said, handle that, and hung up.
Yep.
I wore that sumbitch out again. A couple of weeks later, I decided to try again.
Uh-oh.
I got brats and I got beer. This time, I hid them in the back of the refrigerator.
That didn't work. No good.
He did it again.
I remembered this one well.
He did it again.
His brother was in town. His sister was in town. His sister is a nosy little bitch. He tells me she's going to ask to see your ID, and I'll sock her in the fucking mouth. I'm sorry. I did it again.
That's another one.
I'm the juggernaut! I'm the juggernaut, bitch!
I'm sorry. WQEE is not getting this episode either. It's a good thing Monday starts a new month because I can clean up my act.
Yeah.
I seriously need to clean up my act. I apologize, folks. His sister was nosy. Just because you work in the police field doesn't mean you have a right to see my blanking ID. I'm not going to show you.
Yeah,
and then he says, if you don't show her, she won't leave me alone. That's your
problem.
That's your problem, not mine. I nearly said it another way. That's your problem.
Mm-hmm.
Not mine. I got nothing to do with this. I take a nap, and the smell of brats woke me up.
You're like, wait.
I went into the room. I locked the door. I hid under the covers. You understand me? I hid under the covers, and I apologize to Ryan at WQEE. I can't give you this episode either. The smell of brats woke me up. I go downstairs. They're gone. His brother was helping to consume my apple orchard.
I remember what came next.
I went berserk. I waited until his brother and sister left, and then I clotheslined his ass with everything I had in me.
He got wore out again.
He got worn out again.
That's what Voodoo's known for.
I wore his ass out again.
That's what Voodoo's known for. Taking L's and getting worn out.
He told me the last night, he said, get your out tonight. All right. I went and packed my trunk. And this is 2015, October 2015.
Mm-hmm.
I went and packed my trunk. I'm loaded. I'm ready to go. I go back in, make sure I have everything. And you know what this sumbitch says to me? He says, I hope everything goes well for you. I snapped and wore his ass out again.
he can't even say goodbye without getting worn out.
I wore his ass out again. With Vooter and to Dell Yates for trying to get the best of me.
You blew it. Capiche?
We gotta go. Have a great day. God bless. Remember to make your next move your best move. And always remember, if your dreams don't scare you, they're simply not big enough. Dream big, do bigger. We are, and we hope y'all are too. Beginning Monday, we're going to have a much tighter ship. Trust me on that. We're out of here. See you tomorrow. Joel Embiid, you a bitch. See y'all tomorrow.
Oh, for God's sake.